Hello, everyone. Good morning from the Philippines. Sorry, I'm a bit late. How are you guys doing? Since it's been raining here in the Philippines, I am feeling sick, and the people around me are also getting sick. I have this very itchy throat. Coffee, everyone. Today's topic is all about codependency. And I'm curious if do you know what codependency mean? Hello, Rhoda. How are you? How are you this morning? I hope you're feeling okay. Hi, Ismokims. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I would love to know where are you watching from? Good morning, Mark. Where are you guys watching from? Hi, Mark. And Mark with a C. Good morning. Hi, sensible man. I am doing actually terrible today, but you know, trying to get my mood better. I hope coffee will help. Just been sick for a couple of days, especially in the evening. Oh, I can't sleep very well. This itchy throat. I cough a lot in the evening. Hi, Liam. Sensible man from California. Thank you for watching all the way from California. Hi, Rhoda from Cavite. Is it already sunny there or still raining? Here we have the sun picking, but here and there it still rains. Mhm. So for today's topic is we'll talk about codependency and what codependency mean, and does any of you experience being codependent? What are the challenges that you've encountered in regarding that topic, and any question that you can think of that you want to throw into the chat, that would be great. Mark, responsibility, what does that mean? So I actually research. I have an idea of what codependency mean, but I love I love asking ChatGPT for some insights as well. So according to ChatGPT, codependency is a term often used to describe a relationship dynamic where one person relies excessively on another for emotional support, validation, or a sense of identity. In a codependent relationship, one partner may prioritize the other's needs and emotions to the point of neglecting their own, leading to an imbalance where self worth and happiness depend largely on the other person. And I personally have gone through or, realized that there were moments that I'm being codependent with my partner. I can't seem to make a decision on my own without having to worry, like, oh, will my partner be okay with this? Will he be happy with this? And sometimes I don't even do things that I want because I have all those worries. And the thing with codependency as well is you project a lot. some of those fears that you're thinking, your partner may not even be thinking of that. Your partner may actually be okay and happy for you to do the things that you love. But because you're so worried, your fears are being entangled so much with, you know, with the story that it's true. And when in fact, you're just projecting those fears to your partner and they probably may not be true at all. And these are some key signs of codependency. Difficulty setting personal boundaries is one thing. Feeling responsible for others' emotion or action. So, Mark, you definitely got that feeling responsibility of other people's emotion and action, and seeking approval and validation to feel good about yourself. I think this is mostly fall into this one, that if I do something, I often want to hear that it's okay, it's approved and validated by my partner. If I don't hear any of that, then I would start to worry. I would start to project a lot of fears. And I think it was 1 year in my relationship that's when I really felt so codependent with my partner, and I start feeling like losing my own identity. Like, oh, what do I actually really want? I feel like I'm just doing the things where I know my partner would approve of. I know my partner would be happy of. What about me? What about my happiness? And then I started to feel resentment towards my partner for, I'm always the one doing what you want and I'm not taking care of myself. But I'm glad that, I've been doing a lot of meditation, journaling, and also taking courses and reading books that have given me different insight and perspective as well. That, hey, pause, pay attention to the story that you're making in your head. Maybe this is you being codependent, and maybe this is you projecting your own fear to your partner. How about set aside a time to have that conversation, to clear things up, to actually express what it is that you know each of you want and desire in the relationship. And that's where we've been using this framework called, it's a diet exercise called desire, fear, and love, where at least once a month, ideally once a week, we want to do this, where we set aside a time to have a conversation. But to be honest, we mostly tap into this framework when we're already feeling not good, when we're already upset about each other, when we already feel disconnected towards each other. And I'm glad that usually it will just be, we notice that if it's couple of hours that we don't feel connected, then we uh, automatically find ways to reconnect again, and that framework really help us out. And for and for a dyad, it's different from a conversation. A dyad is when you take turns answering. You don't necessarily respond to what other people's to what your partner is saying. And again, this is where you really remove yourself from your partner's emotion. What they feel, what they desire, what they fear, and what they love about is their emotion, and they have to be the one taking responsibility of that. You, as the other person in that in that diet exercise, is just there listening and holding space. That whatever they're experiencing, it's all okay, and this is a safe place to express those emotions and feelings. So that's what I love about diet exercise, is that you have that autonomy, and you really have that space to own whatever it is that you're feeling, thinking, and the stories that you're making yourself. So what we do is we set aside time. Person A would ask, what is it that you desire? And then person B answers the question, this is what I desire, this is what I desire. I desire to be trusted. I desire to be acknowledged. I desire to hear you saying that I'm a good mom, stuff like that. And then the other person, the only person A, can only say, what else? What else? They cannot justify, like, oh, I've been telling you that you're this, you're that. No, you don't have to do that. Again, just create that safe space and just encourage the other person. What else? What else do you desire? What else do you want? And then after that, when person B says, I'm good, then you switch. Person A now is the one who's telling, expressing their desire and wants. And then you just do the same practice to the fears and the things that you love. And really, the key there is sandwiching what you fear in two positive poles. Because I notice, when we're, especially when you're already in a codependent situation, you often just express your dissatisfaction. You often just express um, complaints towards your partner, like, oh, you don't have time for me, oh, you're always busy, you're doing this, you're doing that. But underneath those complaints, there might be fear that you don't have time for me, you don't want to spend time with me, you're you probably want to spend time more with your friends than me, or you don't care about how I feel anymore. So those are maybe some underlying fears behind those complaints, behind those, judgment that you have. And sometimes it's very hard for us to actually be vulnerable and able to express those fears. It's so easy for us to express anger, frustration, and dissatisfaction towards our partner. But that's not vulnerability. And up until you're able to actually be vulnerable, that's when the emotional intimacy really kicks in. So that's one tool that I've been using in my relationship, and we're able to really disassociate what is my feeling, what are my emotion versus what are yours. And we take responsibility for that. And some key signs of codependency include, again, as what I've said, difficulty setting personal boundaries, being responsible for other people's feelings, emotions, and action, seeking approval, validation, and having low self esteem and feeling unfulfilled outside the relationship. So let me know if some of you felt any of those. And again, there's no shame if you feel that way, because I feel like all relationship go through this, and that's why awareness is very important. That way, when you're aware of what's going on, then you can do something about that. Because a lot of people, they're already codependent, but they're blinded and they don't even acknowledge it. Then that's the hard part, because how can you solve a problem if you don't even think that there is a problem, right? All right, let me go back to reading the chat here. Rhoda's life adventure. Are you describing? Are you describing me? Don't worry, Rhoda. We go through that. I think a lot. Yeah. Me and the girls, Maya, Shay, and Leia, we catch up yesterday, and it was very fun, and we talk about codependency as well, how often we seek approval and validation to our partner, and often us Filipina, because we're so sweet, we're so caring, we often you know default to doing what our partner wants and catering to their needs instead of us. Though sometimes I see that I often, in my situations, the other way around. Mark, reading Detach and Survive from Janice Clark. Hmm, what is that book about? Sounds very interesting. Exactly. We all want to please our partner because, again, we love them. We want to show them that we love them. That's mostly the case and the reason why. Mark with a K needed to remind me recently detached from someone friend's relationship. Why do you think you need to detach from that friend? And yesterday I did a content with the girls as well, and we talk about friendship and how having genuine friends in your life can affect you, can affect how you show up in the world, and how can it affect you with your relationship. Does it affect you positively? Does it has consequences? So check out, stay tuned for that content. Yeah, it was a very vulnerable content that we created, and I'm so excited to share it with all of you. Truth Finder. Hi, Steven. Hello, Gladys. I've got to practice this with my new Filipina to create our good habits for communication. I'm very glad to hear that. I'm glad that you're able to use those tools that we've talked about during our session. Steven is one of my biggest supporter, and I truly appreciate the support and the trust for working with me and going through those programs that I created. And I'm very happy. For me, the biggest impact that I could create, the biggest fulfillment for doing those kind of program is I if I see, my clients applying the tools, applying the learning. So thank you, Stephen. I'm happy to hear that. Mark with a C, Mark Gomez. It's codependency. Both should try to seek approval of your partner. I think it's always good to know that your partner approve of you, but not necessarily depend on them. It's always best that the approval, the love really comes from within. Because I noticed before, even though my partner would tell me like, "Oh, you're beautiful, you're attractive," because I have such insecurity in the past, I couldn't even believe it. Even me myself, I couldn't even appreciate. I would even make a story that, "Oh yeah, you're just saying that, but that's not really true." See, it's great. So up until you actually felt that approval, love, and security within yourself, that's when you are able to appreciate more people, and you're not walking in a relationship really like a dog and wanting to get those attention from your partner. And it takes work, and I guess that's the beauty of being in a relationship compared to if you're single. I think being in a relationship really gives you a lot of opportunity to look into those area of your life where you can actually improve and evolve on. I would never thought that I have such massive insecurity. um, I thought I'm just insecure about my skin. But when I am in this relationship, I realized there's so much more insecurity that I feel. And I think being in this relationship, being able to see that face to face, I was able to like, wait a minute, is that how I'm showing? No wonder I feel so small. No wonder I don't have light energy showing up to the world because I am covered with all of this insecurity. And now that I'm able to, because your partner serves as your mirror. How they react, how they you know talk to you, or how they treat you is really like a reflection of your who they are, is like a reflection of yourself, because you're the one who attracted them. And I realized like, wow, this is how I'm showing up. This is who am this is who I am. Oh my god. Okay, let me try to improve this. And it takes a lot of courage to do so, but the work is so much worth it. If I compare myself uh, 3 years ago, I am so surprised to the person I am now. I am so surprised too. And it also makes me feel excited of who I'm gonna become if I continue to do this work. It makes me excited to show up, to do the work that's needed because I see the result of it. And it's just beautiful compared to even all the way back with my previous relationship where very codependent, very toxic. None of us are aware of it. We're both blinded, and like for 7 years I feel stagnant, stale, and not alive at all. So all right, let me go back to the chat. Rada's life adventure. That's why it is good to have a monthly or quarterly deep conversation where you will list down all the things you want, don't like, and need improvement. In that way, you have time to discuss those issues. I like that. Yes, totally agree with you, Rada. Is that something that you and your partner are doing? Because I think that's a very good exercise to do. And I talk a lot about different type of intimacy because again, most of us when we think of intimacy, we just think of physical intimacy, touch, cuddles with our partner, but there's actually so much more. There's intellectual and recreational intimacy as well. That's when you engage, both of you engage in a stimulating conversation. So you don't just stimulate your body, you also have to stimulate your mind because our mind is the biggest sex organ and the most important sex organ there is. So if your brain is stimulated, then your body also feel, you know, aroused and all of that. You feel more interested with your partner. And when you're able to have that intellectual conversation where you're able to really talk about difficult conversation, then that goes down to emotional intimacy as well, where you feel safe to express how you feel, where you feel safe and connected with your partner. So I'm curious. I hope that you're doing that, Rhoda, because that's really a very good idea to have those intentional time set aside to have that deep, meaningful conversation with your partner. Jason Linnell, good morning. I've definitely been in this type of relationship, the white knight trying to rescue, save the damsel in distress. And, you know, for especially for men, I think it's already baked in our DNA that we want to be that knight in shining armor. We want to be able to protect our our princess, our queen, our lady. And we want to save them. We want to rescue them, and we just have to again pay attention. Is this serving them? Is this serving our relationship, or am I enabling? Right? Or am I tolerating them right now? So just know where the line is. Just know how to express boundaries as well if it's being too much already. Thank you, Jason, for sharing. Mark with a K. I'm generous and love to help all until one day you realize some depend on you to the point they choke you. Doesn't mean I don't love them. I just needed to learn to detach myself. Yeah, that's that's the danger of being too helpful because other people they get very used to it and they just expect you to do that all the time and they just rely on you. They become very dependent on you instead of being able to stand on themselves. And I think, there's a lot of people who criticize the word independent woman. And I know that there are a lot of women who went too far in becoming a strong independent, but I think an independent woman is someone who as an individual can actually operate on her own without a partner, without anybody else. I can still be fine. I can still survive. But with other people, I can even drive even more. So even though I'm an independent woman, I still would love to be in a partnership with another independent being. And instead of codependent, we want to be an interdependent together. Together, we can create so much more. Together, I can give my energy, my creativity, my resources, I can share it, and my partner also share it. And then it's like 1 plus 1 equals 3. It's more. But if you're codependent, it's like you're sucking the energy, you're sucking the life out of your partner. And we don't want that. Thank you, Mark, for sharing. Truth Finder. Friends that are genuine or truly accepted by your partner. She's so accepting of human contact. And I think it's very important. Sometimes, we need in back in the days, I really love following Esther Perel because she talks a lot about relationship and intimacy. And I've learned from her that, back in the days, we're very communal. Like the community are able to help us raising the kids, like doing a lot of things. But in the modern days, we are expecting everything to our partner. We are expecting them to be our source of love and happiness and approval. We're expecting them to care and provide for us. And we're even expecting them transcendent. We want to feel like, we're in a cosmic feeling where we have this fantasy of like, oh yeah, life will be so much better with you because you're the one. We expect too much of our partner, and I think that's very unhealthy because they're just one person. And I think it's so important to also have people around you where you can, hang out and connect with, and can also build that emotional intimacy, that intellectual and recreational intimacy, and someone where, and again, it's very hard to also look for those people. In the past, I really don't want to associate myself with others. I don't want to have friends. I only have two friends before, but I don't even really meet them every day, maybe once a month or once every quarter, because I'm always thinking like, I have my own baggage, I have my own problem, and then here they come dumping it again on me. But I realize when you try, but not until I also work on myself, and now I'm able to attract amazing people, it's so different. Like you can really tell that this friendship is healthy and genuine is when you are together. Again, you amplify each other, you energize each other up, and you come home feeling even more motivated and excited rather than feeling tired and stressed and like, "Ugh, I just want to sleep," type of thing. So whatever relationship you have, may it be friendship, romantic relationship, relationship with your family, pay attention if you're being codependent. Pay attention if you're able to amplify each other's energy or sucking each other's energy. And don't judge yourself if you find yourself in a situation where you're being an energy vampire and sucking the blood out of the other person, because we have that tendency to be like that. And we just need to pay attention. We just need to be aware and acknowledge and try to think of like, how can I not do this? How can I actually show up in a way where the other person can be happy off, or I can actually give off more energy to them. And you can only do that when also, first, of course, you have to prioritize yourself. You have to overflow yourself. So the overflow of those energy is something that you can share with others as well. I hope I make sense. All right, let me read some of the mm, Rhoda's life adventure. And that that is why I'm always saying relationship is never 50-50. Sometimes it's 60-40, or it's just be sensitive in your partner's need. We always have those ups and downs of emotion. Exactly. I also don't follow the 50-50. I want 100-100. I do my best to show up 100%, and I expect my partner to show up 100%. But again, life happens. There's a lot of stressors and triggers that happens along the way. So it's also important to check in with each other like, hey, I think it's Brene Brown who talks about this. Um, like, where are you at what capacity are you in? And when the person says, oh, I'm already 30, or the person says, I'm already 70. So that means they're almost at the capacity there. And for you, if you still feel good, then you don't try to not go down, or try to not be under a high capacity, and be the one to be able to hold space for your partner as well. Truth Finder, we have grown so much in the last month, but through some of those times couldn't imagine would befall us. Yeah, and there's you know relationship is a very exciting journey. Again, you cannot expect it to just be happy all the time. Because if that's the case, it's very linear. You're stagnant. And if you're happy all the time, then look at those crazy people who's laughing all the time. Do you want to be that kind of person? I much rather live life experiencing all the emotion that's available out there. And it's nice to feel happy, it's nice to feel excited, it's nice to even feeling anxious, uncomfortable. I even appreciate those feeling because it actually allows me to hmm evolve into someone new, someone better. If you're just linear, then there's no evolution for you. And I think that's one of the purpose of why we're here, is to evolve as a person. Paul Denham. I have never been dependent to anyone or anything in my life. I never had that chance, but I did love a girl and she loved me. It hurt like hell when we are forced to separate. 36 years later still hurts. I'm sorry to hear that, Paul. I hope that you're able to heal that experience. And again, people come and go in our life. And this is what I learned as well, is to not be attached to whatever feeling there is, because feelings are fleeting and you just have to be present in the moment. I I realized this when I was traveling in Bohol, and I saw for the first time, I felt awe and amazement, and it was really good. And I wanted to go back there again and to experience that feeling, but it's never the same. I never had those feeling again. And I it took me 2 years to actually like wrap my mind around this idea of, what, just experience the feeling of awe, wonder, or even feeling of love in the moment without any expectation of wanting it to last forever. Because that's the slippery slope of other people. Because this feels so good, because this feels amazing, we want to hold on to it so much. And even though sometimes it's already toxic, it's already bad, it's already holding us back, we don't want to let go of it, because again, the feeling is so good. And you're missing out on a lot of opportunity that you could experience those amazing feeling again. So I know it takes a lot to be able to let go and release that hurt, Paul. But I also would invite you to, yeah, try to loosen the grip of that emotion for you to be able to invite another feeling, another opportunity of falling in love again. Because for me, when I was single, and when I transitioned to not really be too serious and too desperate in finding the one and just be in a place of, you know what, I just want to connect with people. I just want to have that human connection, human interaction. And I had amazing, amazing time with amazing people around that journey. And some of them, they're just traveling here in the Philippines. They're, backpackers. And even just one day of spending with that amazing being, I'm able to learn something new, I'm able to be happy. And it's nice that I am not attached, because when they leave, even though it's a bittersweet experience, but still, I am not focused on the negative feeling of like, oh, they're leaving now. But I am more in that feeling of gratitude and appreciation that, wow, I'm so glad I'm able to spend time with that person. I'm so glad I am able to share that moment with that person. So perhaps it's also something that you can transition from feeling hurt, because 36 years of hurt, I can imagine how difficult it might be. So maybe you can transition it from the hurt to feeling appreciation that, wow, I have once loved a girl, and someone also loved me the same intensity that I love her. And transition that into that gratitude and appreciation for being able to experience that, because not everyone get to experience that, Paul. And I'm glad that you're able to have the chance to fall in love in your life and allow that experience to happen. I rather be hurt than not to fall in love. It's okay to hurt over and over, as long as I get to experience falling in love and all the magic experience that comes with it. Truth finder. Typo error. We went through a very dark time for the last 2 weeks. Your health went from great to life threatening and major for. Yeah, I hope she's okay now, Stephen. That's really a challenging moment when one of you is going through health situation, health issues. Truth finder, let's talk. Independent women need interaction with the ones who can receive her energy and keep her balance. Exactly. Independent woman doesn't mean you don't necessarily need other people. You would still thrive even better with other people who are also independent like you. Truth Finder, you have one of the best informational channel that most viewers can't yet wrap their arms around. Yet give it time. You'll really take off, Gladys. Thank you so much. Stephen, I really appreciate your support and the trust that you're giving. I appreciate you. Thank you. Vash Stam, why do you do YouTube? This idea actually sparked after my interview with Mike Filipino Retirement, and when I saw a lot of positive comment from the viewers. And I thought, yeah, I have all these things that I'm reading, this knowledge that I have that have been very helpful in my relationship. And I remember after a challenging situation with Eli, and how we're able to transition the challenging moment into creativity, into fueling a relationship to even be better. I thought like, wow, I wonder how other people, how other relationship are doing out there. Are they doing okay? I know I'm going through a lot of challenge in my relationship right now, and I'm someone who's doing my best to be as aware as people doing the work that I can to improve myself and to improve the relationship, and my partner Eli is doing the same thing. Yet here we are, we're still experiencing these challenges within our relationship. How about those other people? And that curiosity and the care towards other as well, who's going through probably the same experience as I do, really what excites me to, like, you know what, I've learned and I've used different framework techniques in my relationship that work, and I want to be able to share this to others so that if they're going through similar difficult situation, then they can have hope that, it doesn't mean it's the end of a relationship. It doesn't mean that you have to walk away in the relationship because it's hard. Because there are gonna be hard times. There are gonna be those uncomfortable moments. And in those uncomfortable moments where the opportunity to grow into a beautiful butterfly, to turn that relationship into a colorful, amazing relationship even, is beautiful. And again, in order for us to transition to that, there's going to be some difficulties. So how can we get past those difficulty, turn conflict into creativity, turn those arguments into an opportunity to learn about ourselves and about the other person, and to grow within the relationship. So that's the that's the topic that I've been really putting a lot of my time and energy, and I'm so passionate about, because I'm able to apply it in my relationship, and it's been helping me so much in my relationship. So I thought, why not share it with other people as well? Why not share this knowledge? And for those who can resonate, then hopefully it will be helpful for them. The intention behind the YouTube is to be able to share those knowledge in hope that it's helpful for other people, and giving them hope that there is always a way to get past this challenging moment. And another thing is, when I learn something, it's so fun to be able to share it. It allows my brain to retain the knowledge. It allows my brain to, it's like if I'm able to articulate what I'm learning, that means I really understood what I was reading or what I was studying. So that's another reason why I do YouTube. It helps me in that way. Mark with a K. I love independent women. Some become independent not by choice but life circumstances. This take over their feminine in them and becomes way too masculine as well. My mom was a single mother. Totally agree, Mark. And that's a challenge for me, and something that me and Leia, Shay, and Maya have so much in common, because again, we are single moms, and as a single mom, we play two roles, being the mom and being the dad. But most of the time, we really play in the masculine role where we have to provide, we have to work there. And yes, we're losing that feminine side. So now when we come into a relationship, it's so hard to let go of that control, to be one of my friend Gail say this, because she was very independent and really the breadwinner of the family, and when she comes into this married with her husband, it was so hard for her to let go. But when she finally did, it made her feel like being in a feminine is her relaxed state, where she have all the time, and she enjoys cooking the food that nourishes her, nourishes her partner, foods that are delicious and all of that, decorating the house and all. It's just so beautiful. I never thought of being in feminine as a relaxed state. But I love that she sees it that way, because again, being in constant role of providing, taking care of the family, taking care of, your loved ones needs, big responsibility. And kudos to all the men out there who's wearing that hat. I know it's not easy. I've been there. It's so stressful. And I'm very grateful that I'm in this relationship now where I can have someone that I can rely and, have my back in that matter. And also, another thing that I love about doing YouTube is I'm able to generate income for my family too. So my partner Eli don't have to think that he has to do it all alone. I'm happy to be able to help and contribute as well in the family. And it makes me feel so happy because that means I'm able to help my partner. Paul Denham. I understand you, sis, and I have been with girls before and after her. I think why it hurts is because it was a forced separation because her mom did not trust me. I believe true love never dies. It's true, and we don't have to die those love. We can always cherish those happy memory. And I good luck with that healing journey for you, Paul. Vash Tam, why don't you stack the deck in your favor to make more money? What does that mean, Vash? Rhoda's life adventure, sharing your experience is a blessing to others who is also going through the same situation. And somehow hearing your calm voice is somehow a therapy. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you, Rhoda. I really get so excited and happy when I have a Filipino viewer in my channel. So thank you, Rhoda. It really means a lot to me, and I'm even emotional right now just having you here. So thank you. Appreciate you so much. Truth Finder, I always needed experiencing thought processes to actually make it applicable daily without thinking to engage this new way. Yeah, I think it's very important to have those moments of self reflection, actually being the observer instead of just being the one experiencing life, also being the one observing your own experience is very important. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, and it's also helpful to because sometimes when we are in our own experience, we don't even notice how we talk, the things that we're talking, what are the words that we're using, are they uplifting words, are they positive words, or are they words that are so negative? And for me, words are very powerful. They're like spell. If you say positive words, you feel positive. If you say negative words, then of course your energy also feels negative. And it's very important to, and that's what I love about talking to my partner or talking to my friends is I'm able to observe how I talk, and they too can give me feedback. They too can tell me that, hey, have you noticed that you're being so negative right now? Have you noticed that the words that you're using are very disempowering? It's nice to have someone that you can verbally process what you're thinking and what you're feeling as well. Hmm. Rhoda's adventure, you deserve it. Thank you, Rhoda. Appreciate you. Hold on, God bless the Philippines and prayer for all those in the typhoon and flood area, also all the OFW in the war zone. Yeah, sending love, prayers, and safety to everyone all over the world. I hope that you two are safe wherever you are. I love how we are able to talk a lot, talk about so many things in our topic of codependency. And again, going back to the topic of codependency, or I also call it entanglement of your own thoughts, your own fears, and also your partner's thoughts, fears, and their thinking. And you reach to a point where you cannot even identify which one is mine, which one is my own projection. You just automatically assume that's, oh, you feeling unworthy is them making you feel unworthy, or them not wanting you, when in fact it's just you who's feeling that, who's thinking that, and you're just projecting it upon your partner. So it's again, the key here is self-awareness, having that awareness to notice what's happening. And one thing that really helped me when it comes to the journey of self awareness is meditation. And meditation, it's not just about being so serene and quiet and that you are supposed, I thought when you're meditating, you're not supposed to have any thoughts. And it stressed me out so much when I started meditating because there's just so many thoughts in my brain. And at first, I told myself, I cannot meditate because I cannot be this calm and quiet mind. But I realized meditating is just about allowing yourself to slow down so you can pay attention, observe your thought, observe your breath, and just observe everything around you. And there's different way of meditation as well, but the kind of meditation that I'm talking about is when you take the time to just observe your own experience without any judgment, sitting there and observe how many thoughts you have per second. It's crazy. And just instead of judging, just be amused and yeah, just be curious. And you can also notice that when you start observing, when you start observing those thoughts, they just come in and go, come in and go, come in and go. And that was very liberating for me to realize that, oh, I don't actually have to hold and to repeat those thoughts over and over again because this is how it makes me feel. And I can just have that thought and allow it to vanish, allow it to dissolve. And again, self awareness is very important, but it's because it covers 50% of the challenge, but it's never the solution as well. Because even if you're very self aware already, you already know that, oh, I'm being codependent in this situation, it will not solve the problem. It will only be solved when you take action towards it. How will you do with this data? What will you do with this information? Are you going to use this information to feel bad about yourself, to feel bad about your partner? Or will you use this awareness to actually take action that would help both of you? Like, okay, I'm being codependent. I'm uh, asking a lot of approval to my partner. So, what I can do here is to actually give that approval to myself. So, I don't have to constantly look for that elsewhere. And I don't have to feel bad if my partner is not giving me that approval that I needed because I'm already giving it to myself. Something like that. I hope that it's helpful. I hope that this conversation, this live stream is something that you're able to get some nuggets or two because it's really what fulfills me is if I'm able to at least share something that sparks curiosity, sparks learning from all of you. It's 8 already. I'll have to, it's Halloween time for my kids. I'll go ahead and drop them off to school for their trick or treat. Happy Halloween, everyone. And thank you so much. Thank you for all your support, for all the love, and for being here. Appreciate all of you. Bye, Paul. Truth Finder, planning on my move to Valencia, Mindanao. Hope to see you, Stephen. And yeah, good luck. That's a very exciting journey of you coming here. I'm so excited for you. Take care, everyone. Happy Halloween, Rhoda. Take care. Have a blessed day, beautiful day, and orgasmic day, everyone. Mwah.